Morning world, and welcome to Monday the 4th of May 2020. We're going to go and have a look at some sheep, and I'm going to be very, very responsible. It's actually quite late in the morning, and I've already done all my jobs once, and I've already been out here once, and I spent an hour and a half in the house packing more merchandise. We've actually sold out of all our mugs. We sold out of all our peak caps. I don't know quite what happened. All of a sudden they had a rush on stuff and it's all gone. So anyhow, we've ordered new stock. So those of you who are looking for mugs and caps and that, just be patient. We'll get them all in as soon as possible. Anyway, in the meantime, well, this is one of the reasons I wanted to come down. I never actually walked out here this morning. I wanted to see how the grass was going. Well, the grass is going okay. Only thing is, so is a buttercup. A bit of red clover in there. I've got a few weeds about, but I'm kind of hoping that if the grass kicks off like I hope it will, I've had the bill in this morning for the fertilising, so I hope it's going to be worth it. We ought to have enough grub out here to keep our cattle going this year. Some are going to go to the farm provided we pass our TB, but I think quite a few are going to end up staying here. And I need enough feed, well, enough grub to feed them. And the idea is, I think if we can get the grass far enough ahead of them, we can probably take a feed off of the electric fence in a couple of places, and maybe even strip graze some of this. Make it last that little bit longer and less waste. We'll see. So yeah, shame about the buttercup. We've always had an issue with buttercup here, and it's one of the reasons we lime it, is to try and bring our pH back nearer to neutral. Buttercup likes acid soil, and obviously it's been acid. The rain has washed in a lot of what we spread earlier, a month or two back, but it needs to get into the soil, and you know, to actually do any good with the pH, it has to actually work its way in. Anyway, it is growing at long last, just not a perfect crop. We've never been great lovers of sprays and chemicals and stuff like that. I could chemically get rid of all my buttercups and stuff like that, and every few years we knock it about a bit, but we never throw too much in the way of chemical at it, because I just don't like it. And I suppose if I compare it with what's over the hedge, I think my side looks a bit better. But, right. Buttercup hide the thistle. Right, well, amazing. As long as I ain't got too many thistles and no ragwort. Ragwort's banned from this place, it's not allowed. But no, the grass is getting there. 7-8 inches. Good enough for grazing, just not quite. And the cattle have got to stay in for another 16 days, 17 days till we get the results of our TB, where I'm hoping we're going to go clear, and then we're free to move stuff around and do, you know, well, manage the farm. Okay, go and look at some more sheep. I managed to find my old Charles bike helmet. I had another one as well, but the mouse also found it. Had made a nest in it and eaten most of it, So, but this one I found on top of the deep freeze in the house, and it will do the job. So we hadn't actually intended to let the sheep out here yet. We've got a delivery until we wormed them. We thought we might have had a little bit of a worm issue with a couple of lambs. Turns out it was actually they just gorged themselves on the creep pellets and made them loose. So lambs will be wormed because it's just part of the regime we do. But some of them are still quite young, and I don't like worming them before they're, you know, at least a month old really. So right, I better go back up and find out what that delivery is. Yep, he's going. Hopefully he's seen Mrs. P or Holly. He's still doing his job. Keeps sheep and cattle in and everything else out. Shut up! It's me! Right, I never got to finish my mowing yesterday. I would have done, but I spent an hour trying to rescue a poor chap who had broken down on his motorbike. Ended up actually having to give him a lift home because it wasn't going to go. So although we tried the social distancing thing, whereas it was either that or he was walking or pushing his bike for 5 miles, and I wasn't having that. So I've only got the footpaths and a few bits and bobs to do, so I might as well I've got 10 minutes, crack on. Right then, I did get as far as getting this thing out of the barn door yesterday. That's literally as far as I got. Right, plenty of fuel. Let's crack on. So why am I cutting the footpaths? So let's start with what is a footpath? A public right of way. Today's public right of way in the countryside, or at least the vast majority of them, are ancient routes that folks used to use to go to work. Before the age of the motor car, motorcycles, even before people had horses, they walked to work. And bearing in mind, hundreds of years ago, the community was much more rural. So whatever was the quickest and easiest way to go to work from A to B, so this particular path went to Kite's Nest Farm, which in the day may have employed 20 people. So this path was permitted across the land from the town, which was half the size then, for local people to walk to work, because it was much quicker than going across the road. So it was kind of an agreement between landowners and stuff like that, that they would allow routes across their land for neighbouring farms, staff and labourers to go to work. Obviously those paths were used for other things like, well, going shopping. You know, if you went to the local market, you used a footpath, stuff like that. So footpaths years and years ago were predominantly used for going to and from work. It was never really a leisure thing. So today you've got cars, you've got motorbikes, you've got public transport, and you don't need footpaths to go to work. So why are they still open? Okay, so lots of these paths got marked on maps, ordnance survey maps, local plan maps, stuff like that. Somebody put them on a map. And we have various clubs and associations in this country, like the Ramblers Association, who got hold of these maps and went to the government and said, we've got all these routes across the countryside that are were used for people to go to work. Why can't we use them for leisure? Why can't we use them now just to walk for leisure? And pretty much the government went, yeah, that's a good idea. We can get people out into the countryside, enjoy the country. And yeah, so it was made illegal. So all of these paths, I mean, that bridge there didn't exist 30 years ago. It was a plank across the stream that my grandfather put there for folks to walk from Wootton to Kite's Nest Farm. When the footpaths people actually came and told us they were going to reopen this, we weren't very happy about it, because it was another route through the farm. And they came and basically told us we had to have a bridge and we had to have the path. We don't get a choice in it. It's been marked on a map. It is a legal right of way. So for all you guys in America who don't understand it, the landowners here, if you've got a public right of way, that's it, you're stuck with it. If you want to move it, you can, but it's a really, really expensive undertaking to do that. A minimum to move a footpath is probably going to cost you £1,200, absolute minimum, and then that'd be a case of moving it, not shut it. You can't just close it. So only people who can close a path would probably be ministry, MOD or something like that. If you look on maps, you'll find lots and lots of footpaths actually terminate in farmyards. They go through people's farmyards, and that's one of the issues farmers have. It's not just people walking across their land as and when they want, it's also people have got the right to walk through their farmyard. As long as you're on the path, you can stand on the farmyard and you can look around and enjoy the view of, I'll come back for that later. Well, that looks interesting. I haven't got one of those, I'd like that one. It's a security thing for us as well. So some of you will think I'm just banging a drum here, but it's not. So again, so why do I mow my footpaths? Well, most people will respect the footpath and they'll stay on it, vast majority. But you get a minority, the same as in anything else, who believe that once they come across that bridge, the footpath is basically anywhere between that hedge over there and that hedge over there, and they can walk wherever they want, let the dog off the lead, throw sticks for it, throw balls for it, and it's a park. Well, it's not a park. This is their breakfast and their dinner and their tea, and then it'll go for the cattle and I'll make stuff out here. So this isn't a park. This is the farmer's livelihood that you're wandering around on. If this was mowing grass and I'd put a lot of fertilizer on it and it was growing like mad, because once you put fertilizer, it does grow, grows fast, but it's not quite so strong in the stem. You walk across the middle of a set of mowing grass and flatten it, and the wind gets into it, you can actually end up with the whole field completely flattened. If you get strong wind and heavy rain, and once it's got a way in, you can flatten the crop. Same with any crop, wheat, barley, oats, grass, anything, you can flatten the crop. So inadvertently, people walking across the middle of a field, you know, thinking they're not doing any harm, you can be. It can be. Plus then, you've got to think about, what's your dog carrying? When was the last time you wormed your dog? How many farms do you walk across? Does every farm and farmer stick to a regime of worming and rotation and stuff like that and keep their stuff down? Does your dog go off and eat stuff that it probably shouldn't have done? All those questions need answers, because if you wander across multiple farms and your dog's picking stuff up, and they do, you're spreading disease, or potentially spreading disease. Leptospirosis is one. We've only had it twice here. We've got off fairly light here. But farms near urban communities, folks don't worm their dogs because it's expensive. They just don't do it. Leptospirosis will cause abortion in the cattle. There's another bug which begins with S, and it's gone out of my head now, which affects sheep. You don't know it until it's hung up on the hook. Basically the carcass is chucked away because it's no good, because this little parasite has got in there and marked everything up. It's unsellable. Pardon me. Your dog could be carrying that, you're completely unaware of it, you don't know. So anyhow, so I suppose we're stuck with the footpaths. Nothing we can do about it. It's a legal right. You've got the legal right to walk the footpath. It's 4 feet wide, so the width of a footpath is 4 foot, which is basically wide enough for 4 people to carry a coffin. That's how wide a footpath is, 4 foot. Not 50 foot or 200 feet, it's 4 foot. I mark my footpath so people got no excuse to say I couldn't see it, didn't know where I was going, because, well, I suppose if you were blind, you could miss it. But would you be walking out here if you was blind? I think not. So I've probably banged on about this enough now. I suppose the last thing I'll say is, if you're walking in the countryside, welcome to the countryside. Enjoy the countryside. All right. Leave nothing behind, all right, and take nothing away. So they say take nothing away but memories, and leave nothing behind but footprints. So if you can just come out and enjoy the countryside, stay on the footpath, keep your dog on the lead, pick up behind your dog, take it away. Even if you worm it, just please take it away. We don't want it. And, you know, respect the countryside and respect the landowner who's trying to make a living off this, and we'll have an awful lot less friction, shall we say. But there you go. I know Americans are friends with me going, oh, just shoot somebody. Well, you know, in America maybe you can do that. Not so easy over here. We can't do that. We're stuck with it. Anyway, I better finish cutting this grass, because my dinner will be on the table in 20 minutes. Right, on that note, I'll see you later.